Hi, hi. I am sorry I'm late. I was on my sales mastermind call and we went a little bit over. And of course, that is my priority is to serve my people super well. So, you know, a little late, but better late than never, right? Because this topic is so important. I even have on my special happy place shirt for it. And I'm like so excited to talk about it because I feel like this has been something I have been like deep in the work of this year. And one of the things I really love most and that kind of like my personality shines at is being able to like look at a concept and sort of help people apply it. And I think that that is totally what I've been doing with my word of the year. It's just truly like looking at this concept and digging into this concept and just doing everything I can to figure out how to make it applicable to me and then how to make it applicable to you. But the thing that's so important for me there is when I say applicable, I don't mean like do what I did. I mean like learn from what I've learned, right? Which is like a very different thing. So anyway, what I'm going to help you do today is kind of take the lessons I have gained from my word of the year being havingness and apply them to you, your business, and how to create more of it. Simple. So basically, like to give you a little recap, and actually I would love to know this if you're watching or if you're watching the replay, like what was your word or what is your word of the year for 2019? Can you tell me that? So my word is havingness. Or maybe you don't pick a word and you can tell me you don't pick a word. But I always pick, well, not always. I'm like acting like I've been doing it since I was 4 years old. In the recent years, I have always picked a word for the year. And so this year, my 2019 word was havingness. And what havingness meant for me was basically like expanding my ability to have all the good things in life, right? And so anyway, tell me if you're jumping on live or if you're listening, watching, struggling today. If you're watching the replay, what is your word of the year? I want to know. So anyway, I picked mine because this year like really culminated with like a lot of things happening for me. I sold my house. I moved in with my boyfriend. I paid off all my student loan debt. I had the best year I've had in business. I just feel like so many things like came to a culmination for me. Where it was sort of like everything I've been working toward, like paying off the student loans, like being in a great relationship, feeling really grounded in my business, getting clients really epic results, like feeling happier than I've ever felt. Like all of it almost like hit me in one moment in January, right? Were just like everything I'd been thinking about and, working toward and like wanting and manifesting and whatever was like combined. And I was like, okay, so like I see what my work is this year. Like I have to expand my ability to be comfortable in having everything and letting it be good, because what our brains will do is be like, it might go away. It's too good to be true. Something else bad is going to happen, et cetera, et cetera. And you do that in business all the time. Oh, Maggie's word was own. So good, Maggie. I love that. If you're listening, tell me your word of the year. Maggie, that's a powerful one. So anyway, I also picked that word because as much as it was for me and is of course my word of the year, I just see clients struggle with this so much, especially as I work with clients like at higher and higher levels. And as I get my clients' results faster and faster, I see the mindset that work that is required to have all the good things and to have the results you want and to have everything feel really good and to have like the booked out practice and the good life and the lit up life is so massively uncomfortable. Like truly, I think I see that being more uncomfortable for people than even the starting or growing of the business. And I just don't think it gets talked about enough. But once you're like past that like 6-figure mark and you're just sitting in the fact that like you have a business you love and things are really good, shit gets really uncomfortable really fast. And most people won't talk about that, but it's the stuff that they're bringing to coaching calls, to high-level masterminds or whatever. Is like, this is so fucking uncomfortable. How do I handle this? So a big part of me picking this word was, of course, for me, but also because I know that this is something my clients are really like gonna be in the thick of. And so I want to be able to support them in that too. And it's so funny because I've had a couple of calls with clients around this week. I literally, on one of my client questionnaires, I have the question like, what do you want to talk about most in our session? And one of my clients was like, I want to talk about what the fuck to do now, because I have everything I've been working toward for the past 6 years, and I want to know what I actually do with that. And I was like, damn, that is like the epitome of havingness, right? Like, I have everything I've been working toward, and now what? Question mark. And will it go away? Question mark. And everyone thinks that. Most people think that. It is such a common fear. I can't tell you. I literally do not think I have one client that's crossed the, let's say, 10K, 6-figure mark that hasn't gone, is this going to go away? Like, it's just what our brains do, right? Mira says, mine is growth. I almost regret picking that one. Growth is hard. Yep. I actually had a client that chose growth last year, and she was like, oh my God, this word is like working me, but also so good. And like, all the things that happened for her because of that were so beautiful. So, but I hear you. You gotta be careful what you pick with your words sometimes. So anyway, that was a very long-winded explanation, but also hopefully gave some permission that if you're someone who has felt this, that you are not alone. Like, it is so normal to go, can I repeat this? Is it going to go away? How can I sit in having all the things I've been working toward, right? And so one of the things I've kind of put together on that is what I call the havingness model, and I'll share that link with you guys that kind of walks you through that. And I'll share with you some of the pieces of that, but it's actually different than the number one thing I'm going to share with you, because obviously the more I do this, the more my thoughts kind of evolve on this topic. But in the havingness model, what I basically teach you is to make decisions and take action from a place of feeling like it's safe and okay to have more than enough, to have what you want, to keep having it, that nothing's going to go away. And it really centers around 3 pieces, which is self-trust, enoughness, and gratitude. And so I walk you through journaling prompts, how to apply it, all that kind of stuff. So if you want that, I will drop the link for that. Definitely grab that. It's so valuable if you're at all feeling like, I'm reaching a level where it's uncomfortable to have more. What do I do? And one thing I'll add to that is that level can happen for different people in different ways. Like, I have some clients who it's happened for at 5K, some clients who it's happened for at 10K, some clients who it's happened for at, 25. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, we all have different levels of comfort. For me, I was comfortable making the money, but I wasn't comfortable when like everything else worked out. So like, we all have our different edges. So what your edge around having everything you want looks like, it's totally up to you, totally dependent on, your own mindset, personal situation, etc. But these questions and this way of thinking about it still applies. So don't feel like, well, I haven't made 6 figures yet, so I shouldn't like have this issue. Like, we all experience it in different ways at different levels. But what I have seen is that working through it is the thing that like really allows you to scale, really allows you to actually grow super fast, really allows you to go to that next level, because you keep allowing more in. Does that make sense? So I would love to know for you guys, if you've hit that yet, like if you're like, yes, I've totally hit that level yet where it's uncomfortable, give me a heart. If you're like, I'm not quite there yet, but I'm getting there, give me like a little fire symbol. Like, I just would love to know, like, have most of you hit that place where you're like, it's uncomfortable to have more? Or are most of you like, I'm still getting there, but I can see how that would be a thing for me and I want to kind of work to prevent it? Let me know. Heart, fire. Or you could just say it. I just like emojis. Okay, so hey, Anna. So let's talk about, again, like, I'll share the havingness model with you. You can download that. It's not that I want to skip over that piece. It's just that there's a great resource for you for that. But what I really want to share is one of the things I've learned so much lately and so much through my clients too, which is about like the number one way to let yourself have more. So the havingness model is the foundation. But like on a fundamental basis, what I have found to be true, and this is going to be a little hard to fully grasp, so stick with me for a minute. But what I have found to be true in like doing this work, both with myself and my clients, is that the number one way to let yourself have more is to be okay with losing it. Now, when I say that, what comes up for a lot of people is like, I've worked so hard to manifest this, so hard to get my mindset right, so hard to get my thoughts in the right place. Like, I don't want to think about losing it all now. Like, that feels like the exact opposite of where I want to direct my like thoughts, energy, and attention. And I totally agree with that. But it's not so much that you need to think about it and direct a lot of attention there, but it is this idea of like, if I think I can't handle losing something, the likelihood that I let myself receive it is small. If I know that fundamentally I'm okay no matter what, I can let myself receive and have on a greater and greater level, right? So let me give you an example of how this is like really applicable. It's applicable to emotions. So you know how it's like, if you're just someone who doesn't let themselves really feel emotions, then yeah, you don't feel the bad emotions very often, but you don't feel the really, really good ones either. Like, can I get a raise hand if you're like a deeply feeling human? And you know what I mean? Because I'm like a super deeply feeling human. And so I feel like massive amounts of like happiness and joy and like all of this stuff. But I also in that have to be open to feeling massive amounts of sadness and the pain and the difficulty that can come with that. It's like you can't have one without the other. Like there's this Osho quote that I love, which is about like a tree, and it's basically like the depth of the tree is what allows the branches to expand. And so it's like you can't really have that like expansion without that like depth. And he compares it to emotions. So you can't feel those really amazing emotions if you're not able to feel the depth of your emotion too, right? Let's see. Anna says, I'm kind of feeling this right now. I catch my brain thinking that I can't repeat my recent successes and that I need to wait until I can up level more. Absolutely. I again, like, I think you just perfectly illustrated, like, this is what I hear from clients all the time is like, oh my God, I just had my first 10K month. Like, how do I repeat that? Or like, oh my God, like, my client just got an epic result and I had an amazing launch and everything's going great. Like, how do I know I can continue this? And so I think our brains are just always trying to keep us safe. If you've read The Big Leap, that's what he talks about a lot, is our brains are always trying to keep us safe, right? And so that perfectly leads into the point I'm trying to make, though, which is our brains are always trying to keep us safe. So if we feel like we're about to step into something that we can't afford to lose, our brain is going to try to keep us safe every time. It's going to be like, oh, no, because if you get the 6-7 figure business and then you lose it, you will not be okay. You will not be safe. You will not be okay. It will not be fine. Right? It's like all your warning signs are going off. It's like you're about to walk into a lion's den is how it feels. Right? So for a lot of my clients, it's like they're, like just about to cross this threshold into whatever, like, with the 6 figures, the 7 figures, and all of a sudden their brain is like, if we get that, like if I hit that mark, it's not safe, because then if I lose it, I won't be able to handle it. If it goes away, if I can't repeat that success, everything will fall apart. Like I literally will not be okay, right? It feels to your brain like I could die. Right? Everything could fall apart. And it sounds so silly, but the reason I want to give, oh, that was weird. My light just like got brighter. The reason I want to give voice to it is because I just think it's something that we're all experiencing. Like I'm sure almost everyone listening to this live stream can relate to Anna's comment in some way, shape, or form, right? So it's the thing we're all experiencing, but we're not necessarily getting like super concrete ways to deal with it. Like I like the big leap, but I feel like that is like very devoid of like concrete ways to handle this, for example. Anna says it was so easy. Now I catch myself over analyzing and thinking I can't just repeat this. Right, because it was easy. Again, exact same thing I hear from my clients all the time. Anna, thank you for giving voice to that. It's like, that was too easy. It must be harder to repeat it. Like, it felt really easy to get to 6 figures. Like, please don't tell anybody. I'm sure it's about to go away, because like it shouldn't have been that simple. Right? And you know, like the work is of course being like, no, it can be that simple. But the thing that has made the biggest impact on me truly is definitely the foundations of the havingness model. But I think the number one thing that underscores all of that is, and I will be okay if I don't repeat my success, and I will be okay if it goes away, and I will be okay, right? If you can truly ground into that, it's so easy to keep having more, because it doesn't feel like this insanely scary thing to your brain, right? Like, so when I like paid off the student loans and got the relationship and was so successful in the business, whatever, I had to be like, and if my relationship went away tomorrow, I would still be okay. If my business went away tomorrow, I would build another one. I would be okay. I would figure it out. If something else bad happened tomorrow, I would be okay and I would figure it out. And just knowing that and being able to trust in that has wildly expanded my ability to have more. Because I'm not like, but if I have more, then there's all this pressure and all these implications that if any of it ever went away, things would be awful. Does that make sense? Anna says, but I know it's not true. I totally know what I did to make it happen. I just need to trust. Right. And I think it's also like, I can trust that I can repeat it, and like and it would be okay if I didn't. Right. It's like that like deep level of detachment. So let's talk about that as it relates to like a launch, for example. So you got to this really amazing point in your business. You had a successful launch before, felt so good. Everything's feeling really good. And now you're about to go into another launch. And what's your brain going to start doing? You probably won't be able to repeat it. What if you can't do it again? It was actually too easy last time. Something must have been wrong. You must have missed something. It's all been too good lately. This is the point where it all falls apart. You better be careful. That's all the shit that starts coming up, right? And if you can be like, okay, well, like I'm 98% sure it's going to go perfectly, but if it doesn't, I'll be okay. Like, that is truly when I see my clients just skyrocket their businesses, because nothing feels that pressured anymore. It doesn't feel like if I don't repeat this result on this launch, everything falls apart. It feels like I'm really relatively certain I can repeat this result, and like, it's okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. Right? And it sounds so cliche to just be like, I'm okay. I'm okay. But I am telling you, that is the thing. Because if you keep trying to force your brain into being like, no, it'll be fine no matter what, it'll be fine no matter what, there's no way this can go wrong, there's no way this can go wrong, it just mounts the pressure, right? And that's when the pressure gets so great that it's hard to move forward. I just was speaking to a client last week who's created a lot of success in her business. You know, she's making probably like 150 about a year in. Has served her clients really well. It has really happy clients. Like, everything is good. Great family, all the things. And she's about to launch something new, like a new lower level offer to her people. And just in the like ideation phase of like, what would the offer include? And what about this? She like came to our call and was like, I'm feeling so much pressure. It's like killing me. And I was like, okay, why? What's going on? And she was like, look, what if this doesn't do well? And we were like, nothing bad happens. Like, you're still making 150K without this offer. Like, you know, you're still feeling really good 80% of the time. You're still moving forward every single day. Like, nothing bad is going to happen. And just taking down that pressure of like, and I will be okay. And nothing so bad, like it can happen that's so bad here that I can't handle. Like, immediately she started being able to take more action and move forward in a different way, because it was like, oh yeah, this isn't like life or death, like my brain wants to make it, right? And it says, love this perfect reminder. And I think releasing the attachment to needing this level of success is exactly what made it happen so effortlessly. Every time when we create attachment and pressure, what we're ultimately saying is, it will mean something about me if this happens, it doesn't happen rather, and I won't be okay. So when we think it will mean something about me and I will not be okay, it's so hard to get the thing. There's so much attachment. There's so much pressure. Everything feels hard. Ease goes away. The ease of manifesting, of our thoughts being able to create the thing we want, all but disappears because it feels so unsafe, right? If we're like, I was fine before this success and I would be fine after. And in fact, I have like a lot more knowledge now, so I'd probably just create it again. Like, all of a sudden the pressure comes down, like, oh, so it doesn't mean anything about me if this launch doesn't do great. It doesn't mean anything about me if, whatever, I don't get more results month over month over month. It doesn't mean anything about me if, this launch doesn't go as planned. Not only does it not mean anything about me, but like, I'll actually be okay. That's when like the path is totally clear for the universe to like pour a